So let's talk about something really cool today called Astro Cartography. Now, forget everything you think you know about complicated star charts. I want you to think of this more like a personalized world map for your life, kind of like your very own cosmic passport. I mean, just think about that for a second. What if the best places for you to live, to find love, to build a career, what if they weren't just random? What if you could actually see them laid out on a map, all based on the moment you were born? Well, that's exactly the idea we're going to dive into. Okay, so before you think this is some new age invention that just popped up, we have to go back, way back, because astrocartography isn't really new at all. It's more like a modern day revival of this ancient, deep wisdom that always knew the Earth was just a reflection of the heavens. Yeah, ancient cultures all over the world got this. From the Egyptians, aligning their massive temples perfectly with the stars, to the Mayans and their incredibly complex cosmic calendars, they all understood a fundamental truth. Our connection to the planets changes depending on where we are on the globe. It's not static. Back then, they really focused on two major points in the sky. First, you had the ascendant. That's the planet that was coming up over the eastern horizon. Think of it like your personal brand, how you come across to people. Then you had the midheaven. That's the point directly overhead, the highest point. And that was all about your destiny, your career, your public reputation. And get this, this wasn't just some abstract philosophical idea. They actually used it. People would literally go on pilgrimages or build temples in very specific spots to tap into the energy of that local sky. I mean, they were literally traveling to change their stars. So the big question is, how did we get from that ancient, kind of intuitive practice to the super precise maps we can generate on a computer today? Well, it all comes down to a modern rediscovery of that old celestial blueprint. You see, for a long, long time, this knowledge kind of went dormant. It was almost forgotten. It wasn't until the late 20th century that this one visionary came along and connected the ancient wisdom with modern tech, and boom, he turned it into the incredible tool for personal choice that we have today. And that innovator's name was Jim Lewis. He was this incredibly gifted astrologer who basically dedicated his life to taking this ancient knowledge and building a clear, usable system around it. He's the one who gave it the name we use, Astro Cartography. Now, Lewis was wrestling with this huge puzzle. A birth chart, right? It's a map of the sky when you were born. It's an internal map of who you are, your potential, your psychology. But how in the world do you connect that internal blueprint to the external physical globe? How do you put your soul on a map? And his big aha moment was so simple but so profound. He realized that if a planet, say Jupiter, was directly over your head in Chicago with the moment of your birth, its influence didn't just stop in Chicago. No, he saw that it extended like a beam of energy, creating a power line all the way down that entire longitude, from the North Pole to the South Pole. And that one insight gives us our modern definition. Astrocartography, which literally means star mapping, is your personalized world map overlaid with these powerful planetary lines. And each line shows you exactly where a planet was in a power position, rising, setting, or peaking, the moment you were born. It's the global footprint of your destiny. Okay, so we've got this map, and it's covered in all these lines. So what? What do they actually do for you? Let's dig into the real power you can find when you're on one of these lines. Think of it like this. Your birth chart is always kind of humming in the background inside of you. But when you physically travel to one of these lines on your map, it's like someone turned the volume way, way up on that specific planet's energy. It goes from being an internal feeling to a real-world external experience. Now, there are 4 key types of lines, and they're super important. On your ascendant, or AC line, a planet's energy flows out of you. It shapes your personality. On the midheaven, or MC line, that energy becomes very public. It's all about your career and how the world sees you. Then there's the descendant, or DC line. That's where you attract that planet's energy through other people, partners, relationships. And finally, the IC line is where you absorb that energy into your private life, your home, your roots. And this right here, this is where the whole thing becomes an absolute game changer. This is what shifts our whole perspective from a fixed, static destiny to a life of intentional, powerful choices. I mean, think about it. For centuries, the belief was that your fate was pretty much sealed by where you were born. The sky you were born under was your sky, and that was that, for better, for worse. Astrocartography just completely shatters that old idea. It shows us that we are not locked into just one way of being. The entire world map holds a whole spectrum of different possibilities, just waiting there for us to step into them. And using the map is actually pretty simple. It's a 3-step process. First, you just have to identify a goal. What do you want more of in your life right now? Second, you find the planetary line on your map that matches that goal. And third, you can literally choose to travel there and deliberately activate that specific energy. So, for example, let's say you're looking for a major career breakthrough. You might travel to your Jupiter MC line because Jupiter is the planet of luck and expansion. Or maybe you feel like you need a deep, private retreat for some intense healing work. Well, your Pluto IC line might just be the perfect place for that deep transformation. You see what's happening here? It all comes down to personal choice. It gives you the ability to literally choose your sky, to physically put yourself in a place that supports the kind of life you want to be living right now. There's a phrase that just sums it all up perfectly. The map is a passport to intentional living. It stops being just a cool astrological concept and becomes a practical, powerful tool for navigating your life's journey with purpose. So I'll just leave you with this final, personal question. Looking at the world through this new lens, with your own cosmic passport in your hand, where on your map will your journey begin?